Lyon, the beating heart of southeastern France, became the stage for a new wave of public anger today. From the early hours, the city's boulevards filled with chants, banners, and a sea of determined faces, a snapshot of a nation unsettled. Demonstrators marched shoulder to shoulder, carrying their message beyond the city and toward the heart of government in Paris. This was not just a local event, but part of a coordinated nationwide movement, a day of action designed to send a warning to France's new Prime Minister. Teachers, transport workers, nurses and public sector employees converged in Lyon, adding their voices to a growing chorus demanding that austerity measures not be the cornerstone of the government's new budget. Crowds stretched down the streets, creating both spectacle and disruption. Tram lines were affected, offices stood half empty, and businesses shuttered their doors, visible signs of how these strikes ripple beyond politics into everyday life. The mood was not chaotic, but resolute. Many demonstrators described themselves as guardians of France's hard-won social model, determined not to see it eroded by fiscal restraint. A placard captured the raw frustration. "Macron, maybe you're the problem." The president's image, printed alongside the faces of his last 5 prime ministers, symbolized a continuity of policies that, according to protesters, have only deepened inequality. Placards were not mere slogans, but living stories, reminders of wages stretched thin, rents rising, and families balancing on the edge. The sound of footsteps and chants echoed through Lyon's narrow streets, creating a rhythm of resistance familiar to France's protest culture. Tram drivers spelled out their grievances with blunt clarity: wages, working conditions, Lyon tram drivers fighting for their demands. For them, this is not a symbolic fight, but a struggle at the core of daily survival and dignity at work. Around them, others carried signs declaring unity against austerity, their message more of a declaration than a plea. Faces in the crowd told the story better than statistics. Determination was etched into expressions, and voices rose not for the first time, but perhaps with greater urgency than before. This was no single-issue protest. From education to healthcare, from public transport to housing, grievances converged into one demand: protect France's social fabric. Today's march in Lyon was mirrored in dozens of other cities across France: Paris, Marseille, Bordeaux, Lille, each adding its own energy to a nationwide strike movement that has become a political crucible for the government. The new Prime Minister, only weeks into office, faces mounting pressure to draft a budget that balances Europe's fiscal expectations with the realities of a restless workforce. At the heart of this tension lies the European Union's demand for debt reduction, a condition France has long struggled to meet. For unions, however, the equation is simple. Cuts mean sacrifices, and sacrifices mean broken promises to generations who fought for worker protections. Many recall bitterly the pension reforms of past years, pushed through despite resistance. This time, the fight is over wages, services, and the rising cost of living. On the streets of Lyon, chants echoed not just against Macron, but against a system many feel prioritizes markets over people. Protesters describe fears of a 2-speed France, where the wealthy glide forward while workers stumble under austerity. For commuters, the disruption was immediate. Trams halted, buses delayed, and roads clogged with marchers. Yet among those stranded, solidarity was not absent. Some bystanders clapped in rhythm with the chants, expressing support even in inconvenience. Police presence was visible but measured, reflecting an effort to avoid escalation. Lyon has seen violent clashes in past demonstrations, but this march, though defiant, remained disciplined. As night fell, the question lingered: will the government bend or brace? The Prime Minister, inheriting a fragile mandate, faces his first true test of leadership. For France, the outcome of these strikes may set the tone not just for the coming months, but for years to come. For the people in Lyon, today was not just a strike, it was a statement that austerity, however justified in economic terms, will be resisted fiercely in the streets.
Continuité de ce qui s'est fait avant, bien évidemment, et ça fait 8 ans qu'on se mobilise. On n'aura pas obtenu ce qu'on demande, alors on fait du bruit. On connaît tous et toutes des gens qui sont jamais partis à la retraite parce qu'ils sont pas dans un cercueil. Alors faire travailler les gens jusqu'à 64 ans, c'est pas...
C'est sur la Certainement.
Est-ce qu'on peut montrer le point comme si on était en manifestation, s'il vous plaît, là?
Cette manifestation, c'est des camarades qui parce que même si le parcours jusqu'à des cours, parfois on a comme l'impression.